we ask that you guide us tonight as we make decisions with the city. Be with each and every one of us. Say, Father, help us to do as you would have us to do, Father. It's in your will. Forgive us for our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This will call the meeting to order. Councilor London.
Present.
Councilor Bearden.
I'm here.
Councilor Wilson.
Present.
Councilor Spivey.
Present.
And myself present. Could we move on with approval of the minutes, please? And this will be for the actually regular council meeting and the special council meeting.
We've got a correction to make. Bobby Joe had a no vote and passed my copy along to him.
Yes, I would like to make a correction on the regular council meeting, minutes for September 1st. Under item number 1, under, what is it, 7? You put the yes under item number 1, resolution 2020 R44, but you didn't put the no by my name. Yeah, that's about it. But other than that, I make a motion to approve the minutes with the following amendments for pre-council and regular council meeting dated September 1st, 2020.
I'll second that.
Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Appreciate it. We move on to payment of bills.
Yes, sir. I make a motion for the approval of current bills for payment in the amount of $189,498.06.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wilson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Do we have any professional or consultant reports? Okay. If not, we'll move straight to the mayor, and I'll be glad to go invite them in if that's going to be.
I'll get them if you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
They're going to take my time.
Okay. Appreciate it. Whoever's presenting it.
So these gentlemen represent Motion Industries, Graham and Company, Bradley Arad, running in Business Alliance. I'm not sure who else, maybe on this one or two groups, working on a proposal that you all have done several of these in the past. We just did one recently for WeatherTech. It's the same type of proposal that we did. And this one is in regards to Motion Industries. So ask them just to come and present information to you. There's no action to be taken tonight. They're going to present information to you. It will come back on your agenda at the next meeting for your action. I'll start with Henry Graham. Are you starting?
Yes, yeah.
Henry.
Hey, good evening, council members. Appreciate you all lending your ears tonight. I am going to yield probably the balance of our time. I want to introduce Joe Limbaugh from Motion Industries here. He's going to talk a little bit about the company, for those of you all who are not familiar. And then I'll talk a little bit about the planned project and what we're trying to accomplish. So, come on up, Joe.
Thank you. Yes. I am Joe Limbaugh. I'm the Senior Vice President of Supply Chain Operations Support and Marketing for Motion Industries. Been with them 37 years. I work on our campus off Alton Road. We have about 500 people there. And the last time I was here, I think it was a couple of years ago, was in support of our $10 million campus improvement project. Since that time, for your information, we've expanded our bases of operations. In addition to being in Canada, Mexico, the United States, and Puerto Rico, we now have over 100 locations in Australia, New Zealand, and other parts of the Asia Pacific. So we do continue to grow globally, and this project is in part support of that. We are in need of a world-class shop, about 90,000 square feet, to consolidate a couple operations, one that's already on our campus and one that's in Birmingham. We scoured the area looking for a couple parcels. We found two, one here in Irondale and one outside of Irondale, and we're committed to Irondale. We want what Irondale wants, and that's growth. And so we worked with Graham & Company, who handles all of our real estate for us, and are developing this proposal there. It will be an addition of about 15 people over time here, a relocation of about 30 people out of the Birmingham location. Any questions for me?
So this is basically a new construction project on fallow land, so to speak?
It is. Henry will pass out a rendering. Keep in mind it's just a rendering, but it will be what we would consider a greenfield operation, meaning it would be designed to our specs.
Is it close to your current location, Mr. Limbaugh?
I'm sorry?
Is it close? I'm sorry. Is it close to your current location?
It is, and that was optimal for us. It's about 2 minutes away from our campus. We are host, pre-COVID, we enjoy about 2 or 3 customer visits a week. We deal with all phases of manufacturing, whether it be food, pulp and paper, etc. And we enjoy having customers come to our facilities, and in doing so, we wanted to have a world-class shop that was in close driving proximity to our campus. And we looked at building it on our campus, but because of all the other engagements we have there isn't room. Now, we do have about a 30,000 square foot shop there that will be consolidated into the greenfield spot. And then we hope to take that facility and turn it into a world-class innovation center. So when we're bringing our customers and suppliers and shareholders and prospective employees into Birmingham, we have something that we can talk about as part of in the Irondale community.
One point of clarification. So the site that we are intending to build this facility on is a greenfield site currently, but it has been the previous location of the publisher's warehouse, the land that is controlled by
Electronics.
adjacent to the Long's Electronics building, down the hill from the mini storage there. The building was recently demolished and taken back basically to not a building pad ready site, but it has been leveled. The foundations of the previous facility have been pulled out and demolished, and so we are looking to repurpose that site into this world-class shop that Motion is in need of. It's got the right zoning in place. It's got great access not only to Highway 78 and the interstate, but as Joe alluded to, it is the closest spot that we could find to make this feel like an extension of the Motion Industries campus and let them continue to further grow their roots in the city of Irondale. We intend to combine those 2 shops. It's roughly anticipated it will be about a $10 million project from a construction, land acquisition construction process. And then I know that we've been working with Motion's design team. They intend to invest additionally around $2.5 million on new equipment and overhead cranes that would be involved in the servicing of the components that would be coming in and out of this facility.
What's the acreage on that? What's the acreage on that again, Mr. Brown?
It is around a 7.5 acre site. And the building footprint we intend to construct is roughly around the same as what was previously there. Truck traffic would come down, turn in front of the building, and then enter in on the western end to a truck court behind it or grade level doors. Parking would be along the eastern side of the building as well as in front of the building, but we would have a landscaped area and a curb so that traffic would not be backing out directly into that street. We'd funnel the traffic through so they'd be taking a right to come back to the stop sign.
And you say this is the property where the Long's Electronics was before?
It is I'm afraid I don't know my Irondale history. I'm not sure what was there, but if Long's was ever in this facility, it was Publisher's Warehouse for a long time, which was a division of EBSCO.
Same place.
It was John F. Lawhon initially, Furniture Warehouse.
That's right.
No, we went way back.
But we think it's a fantastic site, and we think that it is exactly where Motion needs to be. So we're happy to be here tonight and telling you a little bit about the project and welcome any other questions. And obviously we've got time between when we want to come back in front of you in October. So if there are questions that you don't think of tonight that come to you, we are at your disposal. Happy to meet with you or happy to respond to emails, phone calls, whatever you need to ask to be more informed about the project. But we're super excited and appreciate your time.
Do you have a card?
Yes.
Okay.
But the idea is basically to introduce the idea of potentially asking the council to consider an incentive package to aid with this new piece of business that would be added.
That's right. What we were contemplating is seeking abatement of sales and use tax on construction materials, as well as some of the new equipment that Motion might need to build out the facility, as well as an abatement of ad valorem taxes for a period of 5 years. Motion intends to occupy the facility for a minimum of 10 years, and then they have options to renew after that. And we hope that they continue to do so, as this would be their kind of second headquarters, if you will, in Irondale.
So basically, I guess, Rob, we need to be getting something to you so it would be available at the next meeting.
Yes, sir. The documents have been drafted, and there will be a report from the Business Alliance as well. They will give you some figures to review prior to the next meeting.
You said the Business Alliance?
Yes.
Birmingham Business Alliance?
Yes.
Jeff Traylor?
Right.
Okay.
So
That's right.
Jeff is actually not here tonight, but Mark Brown with the BBA is here. We've been working closely with Mark.
Who is Mark? I do know Jeff. I know Jeff personally.
No, I work with Jeff.
Oh, okay.
I serve as Vice President of Business Retention Expansion. And so Jeff and I will tag team and work very hand in hand, very closely on our existing industry projects.
Okay.
And so we're here to serve, to make sure that everybody being supported. And but yes, the process that you're familiar with going through with Jeff will be the same with us. And Jeff has actually been on the email trails as we've been going through this process.
Gotcha.
Appreciate the consideration. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Limbaugh, we, if you want, okay. We welcome you. We thank you for coming back. You was here, just 2 months ago?
No, it was about 2 years ago.
I was just kidding.
Yeah,
But yeah,
time goes by quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're very glad that you stayed here in Irondale, and hey, we need to talk too, because you guys have been here for a good length of time. You told me,
1976.
I know, and you promised me the last time, you're a hard person to catch up with too, but you told me the last time you came here that we would talk.
We're talking.
Oh, no. I'm talking outside this because we want you guys to be a little bit more involved in the city of Irondale as far as some of the things that's going on around here with some of our schools and our,
right. And listen,
some of our kids. So you told me that.
I'm going to give you my business card.
Okay.
And then I want you to not.
You're not sending me the voicemail, are you?
No, I want you to come see me.
Okay.
We are involved in junior achievement, Habitat for Humanity, so many things. We have 500 people that have a giving spirit, if you will, at our campus, and it's really who we are. You know, the company started in 1946 in Birmingham, Alabama, and in 1974 moved out here to Irondale and has expanded ever since. 2 gentlemen started the business after World War II. And philanthropy is just a big part of who we are, and we enjoy that. And from my office, I can look out and I can see some of the schools and some of the things going by.
Right.
And I would truly enjoy doing that. And I think we ought to have a history center here in Irondale. You're getting me down a path that I like to talk about.
Yeah.
I think together there are a lot of things we can do, and I would look forward to that conversation.
Well, thank you.
And again, thank you for allowing us to address you, for your consideration, for what you did for us on our campus. It's truly world class. When we bring people in to interview, it certainly is shockingly beautiful. The road has recently been repaved after a number of years, and I know that that's really Jeffco, that did that, but I know you had a part in making that happen. Thank you for that. We're proud to be part of Irondale, and we want to continue to be part of Irondale.
Thank you so much. Mr.
Thank you.
Limbaugh. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you all for your patience and waiting in the hallway.
Introduce themselves.
I'm sorry,
Just want to have a chance some other guys to introduce themselves.
John Malik, I work for Motion Industries, work closely with Joe.
My name is Jack Brown. I'm a Graham company, so I work with Motion and have been in front of you guys several times before, so thanks for your support over the years.
I'm Trey Hill, economic development lawyer with Bradley, was before you guys a couple meetings ago from Weather Tech.
Yeah.
But this is a great economic development project, and sort of hope, appreciate y'all's consideration.
Thank all of y'all for being here. Sure do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. Thank you. Mayor, you have this one? That's it?
Can I get your phone?
I'm gonna get more email from
And I'll make sure you'll have it in your inbox every morning.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great week.
All right, you too.
That being said, we'll move on. We do have one department head here, but you're just here for the presentation. And, oh, excuse me, Waterworks, I've got to talk to him earlier. Anybody have any comments from a departmental standpoint?
I can just say, coming up next week, we're going for the final inspection on the new engine 3. That'll be going to station 3, replacing the 26-year-old fire engine down there. So we should have that back in the next probably month by the time we get everything, finalized and equipment put on it. So that's coming up, and then sometime around when dealing with election stuff, we got approved for FEMA grant for turnout gear washers for our turnout gear and exhaust capture systems for our fire stations to capture all the exhaust and remove it so it's not in the bays. A lot of people are there. That's about a $163,000 grant that we got from that. So totaling the last 2 FEMA grants, we're pretty close to a little over $400,000 that we've gotten in FEMA money to replace equipment that need to be replaced. So.
All right, thank you so much, Chief. Appreciate that. With that being said, I'll start off tonight just to remind everybody, please, if you have any candidates for the CDA positions, and there are 2 positions open, remember, by the end of the month, resume and cover letter to Mr. Stewart, and he will distribute those out to the CDA so we have a central point for collection. So please, if you have anybody that's interested, I know we've got one by email, but it needs to go through Mr. Stewart. He needs to have that cover letter, and he'll get them to the CDA, and then they'll send us their recommendations on the 2 positions, with 2 people at least for each position.
Can we do that again? Can we have to do that again?
Okay, for the end of the month, resume, cover letter indicating why and the interest, and you need to come to Mr. Stewart, and out of that, the CDA will send us 2 candidates that they have selected for each position, and we'll make the final decision out of that.
Okay, so the end of the month, you mean the 30th?
Now what?
When you say the end of the month, the date, the 30th? I mean, it could be the 29th?
30th of September.
Okay, all right, that's what it is.
End of this month.
All right.
And we will try to consider that possibly by our first meeting, depending on how fast the CDA can move on their interviews. And if we have to, we can meet kind of like we used to for pre-council, meet 30 minutes early if we need to, potentially, and do an interview process or do a separate meeting. But in the sake of not having too many meetings, we're here anyway, we could try to combine it, or potentially with something Mr. Spivey is going to propose later on for another meeting anyway. So, with that being said, that's my part. Councilor London.
First of all, good evening, everyone. No comment this month.
All right, thank you. Councilor Beard.
I don't have anything new.
Councilor Wilson.
Yeah, just real quick, got a couple of announcements and statements. I want to ask, I guess Charles, this needs to come to you. The track at Beacon Park is in desperate need for repairs as far as the track is concerned. It got all kinds of cracks in it, and hold on, guys. And I was hoping that, the company that we voted on to do the renovation at Ruffin Park, see if that could kind of be a part of the plan, as far as the contract that we voted on. I don't know if it's set in stone or whatever the case may be, but I wish that we could kind of look at that. If not, we probably need to reassess a lot of our parts, in the city of Irondale instead of just doing patchwork here and there. But that track is really kind of tore up, it's really kind of cracked. That's one thing, and I wish we could get somebody to look into that. Also, Charles, if you don't mind, if Frank could go out and look at the ditch behind the address of 5201 and 5205 Starlight. I received several calls about this particular ditch within the past year and a half, and of course we've had those citizens come to the council meeting and has expressed their concern about flooding issues behind their home. And I know this may be a county issue as well, but if we as a city could go out there and take a look at it and see what we can do from a city standpoint, I would appreciate it. And also, if you could check with the, if you can kind of mention to the interim police chief and see if we can get a little bit more patrol around Beacon Park. I'm not saying just go up to Beacon Park, drive the car and come back out, but actually get out. You know, I've been walking since I've been working from home. I've been exercising a lot. Don't look like it, but I've been exercising a lot at the park. And this morning, I kind of noticed a gentleman came in. He was playing his music so loud. Actually, I couldn't even hear my headphones that I had on. But anyway, he was playing his music so loud when he drove up. He got out and went to another car. He walked up to another car and passed something to the other car. Now, it could have been a baby bag. It could have been something just very innocent. But, you know, I wasn't born yesterday. I kind of know what's illegal and what's not, you know, just being out there. But, you know, I think we have more activity at Beacon. I can only speak for Beacon than we can realize. But if we could kind of mention it to the interim, if we could get more patrol up there and see. No, I didn't, because I don't want to assume, you know, but it just didn't look good.
No, but they don't, if you'll report it to them, they'll check it out.
Okay. But if we can get a little bit more patrol as far as, you know, getting out and seeing what's going on, that'd be good. And I guess the last thing I have, I try to make it quick. I guess I have a question for the city attorney. Is it legal for someone to, how can I put this? Is it legal for someone to smoke pot in their own house, their own garage with the door up and the smell coming out? I mean, is it legal to sit in your house and smoke weed?
I don't think marijuana is legal, no matter where it is.
It's what now?
I don't think marijuana is legal, no matter where it is.
Okay. So I guess the police can go there and knock on the door and say, hey, do you have weed in your house? And they can do that?
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking a question.
They have to have some probable cause.
Smell. Yeah, smell. Is that a probable cause, I guess? You would call it?
I guess you have to ask the chief.
I don't want to say anything out in public, but, you know, this has been going on for a minute, so,
Not at your house, right?
Maybe that tomorrow,
Listen.
Report it to the chief.
Yeah, I mean, I can report it. I just wanted to ask a legal question first, so that's why I asked that question. You know, but I'll ask the chief. I'll ask him. Yeah. All right. Y'all been getting calls about that too?
Did you want to call that ordinance meeting?
Yes, and one other thing, real quick. We're having an ordinance meeting on September the 22nd at 4:30. Just to let the public know what we will be talking about from an ordinance standpoint is tethering, our ordinance dealing with tethering, and also the noise ordinance. There's a rock band. I don't know if you call it a rock band, but they were all black. And these particular bands, they play this loud music. It's crazy. So.
We've been looking at the dog, chain dog ordinance.
That's tethering. Yeah.
What else now?
It's one more.
I wanted to take a look at you know, trash and garbage.
Trash and
in regards
garbage.
to construction debris.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out some way to get some allowable content.
Yeah, trash and garbage.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a brief synopsis of what we'll be discussing. It will be those three things. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Spivey.
Yes, sir. Update from the last P&Z meeting that we had. For anybody that knows, there's a lot that's going to be going on at the top of the hill between Grants Mill and Old Leeds. One of those things was going to be a large apartment complex that was going to have about 300 units in it. Price has kind of revamped what he's going to be doing up there. So instead of it being about 300 units that are apartment style in nature, there's going to be, I can't remember the exact quantity of them, but it's approximately half that, and it's going to be more of a townhome type of garden home type of thing. There's gonna be mixed concepts in there, but it's gonna be about half the density, which is kind of a cool thing. He brought it for us as a replatting at our last P&Z meeting. So that's interesting. I think that'll have to come back up for us for some other things. And then I have the plans at home if you guys want to see them.
I have a question, can I?
Yes, sir.
Ask a question? While you're on that, is this in place of I guess the development with the concierge? Is this in place of?
That is it.
That is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still gonna have a concierge vibe to it, but
Okay.
it's going to be townhomes and garden homes.
Gotcha.
On to not inundate everybody with too many dates on meetings, I'm also calling a finance meeting on the 22nd at 6 p.m. There's a few things I want to talk about there. Just kind of get a snapshot of where we are in the budget process. There is also a bond opportunity that we need to take a look at that could potentially defease some other bonds and come out with a very large savings. So I want to kind of talk about that process. And then, James, I don't have the exact number right now, but I know we've got quite a surplus. So we need to talk about what we're going to do with that surplus before we move into the next budget cycle. I can get with you independently on that and tell you what I'm thinking. And then last but not least, recycling statistics. So in July, we had a total of 19.9 tons that went through recycling. 6.4 of that was contaminated. So that is 32%. All right, so in August, we had 20.5 tons, so a little bit higher there, but only I'm going to round up, 4.5 tons were contaminated, so a rate of 21%. So that's a very significant step in the right direction around contaminated recycling. I'll put that up on my page for the exact numbers, but I know there's been a lot of conversation about in the community about some recycling not getting picked up, or was it overlooked or was it contaminated? But regardless, huge drop in the percentage. So I just want to thank the community for that.
Good news.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any reports of boards or non-council committees tonight? I don't believe so.
Don wanted to speak for the Exchange Club.
Oh, okay.
I'm Donald Dunlap, live here in Irondale. This past Thursday and Friday, we, the Exchange Club, held an appreciation dinner, lunch, for the fire department, police department, and public works. We had a good turnout for the fire department, public works, but the shift of the police made that turnout a little bit less. But the advantage was we left enough food for them, so they had a feast that evening when they got in. So nobody went hungry. But it was an appreciation for this group of individuals that when the proverbial hits the fan, they are there. And they don't hesitate to get involved and do what is necessary to overcome the situation. This, we should all be very appreciative of to all of these departments, because each one has a specific task in an incident that they do very well. And on top of that, I will add from the public works side, they do an excellent job, in my opinion, as far as just their normal duties in picking up trash here in Irondale. So between the three of these groups, we are well represented in the community with people that if something happens, they are there for us. And so I ask you to extend a thanks and congratulations to the members of these departments. And we in the Exchange Club appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that being said, we have open time now for council deliberation on agenda items. Starting with number 1, which is actually something I believe we can do on consent. It just changes the meeting date the first meeting of next month due to the runoffs being held on the Tuesday. It now states currently Wednesday. If that is an inconvenience, we would have to move to Thursday, but we need to make that decision. Any discussion on that, or is that going to suit everybody?
With me.
I'm good.
Okay. And moving on from that, we have the fire chief here. He will be glad to actually probably go over the next two items. And if you don't mind, Chief?
So number two, the purchase for the COVID funds, we have, you should have in Exhibit A, equipment that each department has identified as things that we would like to request money for to be covered under the CARES Act. Some of that, like I said, with the library and some other things, are items that have been purchased and that we won't have any problem getting reimbursed for. But other items on there are things that we need as departments that can be justified under the CARES Act money. I've spoken with the county, Jared has spoken with the county, and we know of most of the items on there that have been approved by other cities and covered under COVID money. So, you know, this grant money runs out in December. And so, you know, it requires us to get approval for you guys to just ask for the ability to request the funds. This is outside of the reimbursement. No other money would be spent. We wouldn't purchase these items and then ask for the reimbursement. We would send in the grant paperwork, and then if we hear back and we get approved, then we can move forward. If we don't, then we don't move forward with purchasing.
Okay. What is the total dollar amount? So it's clarified for everybody sitting here, even though they had Exhibit A, that will be involved.
We're talking the $552,787.74.
And you expect that to be totally covered by the grant, or does that include the reimbursable items?
This includes the reimbursable. Everything that I've gotten from the department heads to put together on numbers. There's some items in there. If you look at the cardiac monitors that I'm attempting to get that reimbursed, that was spent as equipment we needed. But I'm going to work on that, so that may not be covered, but you know, I want to put that in there so we could try, because we have to have the resolution to turn in paperwork. But yeah, so that all may be spent, or a portion may be spent, but everything that we would apply for, if we were approved, would be covered under that. And like I said, we wouldn't purchase any of this. It's just for you to say it's okay for us to apply for this and get the work from the county.
Does everybody understand that clearly? Okay.
So the 71,000, we're trying to get it reimbursed?
Yes, sir.
$71,000. Total reimbursement.
Yeah, those cardiac monitors that we had to replace too, that they can no longer service.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just looking on the reimbursement item with the library and all that total.
Yes, sir. The libraries are, there are things that they have purchased, like the quarantine boxes and things for the books. And I've been following the county commission's agenda minutes, and I know like the other libraries have already been approved for that stuff, so we're not going to have an issue with that. The only thing they haven't purchased, what had been sent from them, and I don't think it reflects out under there, is the sprayer disinfectant. They had not purchased that yet, so they would seek approval for that before they purchased that.
That hydrostatic sprayer?
Yes, sir. That and I think the solution is right under that. So those two items they have not purchased.
You got plexiglass on here. Is that petition to these council things?
Yes, is that under the courts?
Under the courts.
So under the courts, what we've done is we've actually looked at a company, and they specifically make the barriers for courtrooms. And that way, that whatever we put up, it's removable if it needs to be, but it looks presentable while it's up. It also is designed for someone to be able to hand paperwork to the judges while they're up there. There's openings for that. We would have some tabletop things that are made for the tables that come around. You can set them up there for the people, I guess, I'm not sure how they said that, whoever's sitting at these tables for this area, and then also a divider for right here for whoever's coming up to speak. So just kind of help people to keep their distance, because I know there's been an issue with people walking right up on them, and so that kind of lets people stay back and keeps the distance. But it would be something that if we needed to take it down, it would be easily removable, but it'd be presentable because it's designed to do that and function like that. So that's what the plexiglass is for.
So they are designed for here. I'm sorry, I give you that too. So they are designed for here as well?
Yes, so we have the design to go across here, and there's the ability to put, this here as well. Just wanted to do that.
Chief, with that being said, any more questions?
I'm wondering
No,
what's
I
Council
think,
London's opinion.
I've seen some questions today, I think you just answered them all, so.
Okay.
I have a few questions as well. One is the 552. Is that the total amount that we're allotted under this COVID Act, James?
It's not all of it, no, sir.
Is not all of it?
No, sir. There's still, I don't want to tell you a fib. I mean, I want to say there's probably 30, maybe 30 more thousand that's not allotted, maybe 20 to 30.
Okay.
It's not that we still would have allotted.
Okay.
It's less than 600,000.
Yeah, I want to say it was 589 or something like that was the total that we were.
And I guess the reason I'm asking the question is because I don't see anything in here as far as, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm looking at the document, as far as administrative, anything for the administrative staff. And like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but we also discussed about 2 months ago, guys, I'm over 50, so please help me out on this. About 2 or 3 months ago, and Council Spivey, you can help me, we talked about using the COVID care money for something about the recycling. And we was talking about that. We said, okay, well, we have this money. I'm sorry. We have this money that we could use for, that's been allotted for our recycling program. And I don't see anything on here for that. Do y'all remember that conversation that we had?
It was if I remember correctly,
And it came up?
Mayor, I don't know if Frank was in the room on that, but we were talking about the potential impact of additional debris because people were staying home.
That's right.
Due to COVID-related issues, if that was a justifiable expense to go towards additional landfill cost or whatever. And I think what Frank was looking at doing was, we had this conversation when we talked about the statistics from August, looking to see if the increased dump fees, so X is regular, the difference between X and Y, the differential there, caused by additional trash, if that could be used for COVID money. Do you know if it
Me and Frank had that conversation.
Okay, cool, thank you.
So, with what's in the budget and what they're gonna wanna know about budget and money under that line item or whatever, I don't know what it is for the debris cost or whatever.
Yeah.
With the leaf truck has not ran this year, so it's essentially not gonna put us over budget in that area, so more than likely we would not be reimbursed for that since it would still be covered in our budgeted expenses. If that makes sense, because there was more budgeted to run the leaf truck and the leaf truck is not.
What about recycling?
Yeah, we were talking about recycling.
That's what Frank told me, it was not gonna be over in the budget because of that, because so had we have ran the leaf truck, then at the end of the year, we would have been over budget.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. So if they'd had the cost of the debris from the leaf truck running, then we would have been over budget, and then we would have said, okay, we're outside of our budgeted amount. That's what Frank and I know Frank and I had the same discussion when we were writing this down and are talking about this, and you're more than welcome, to talk to him about it. But.
Yeah, I was looking at the list and I was like, hold on a minute. We had this very lengthy discussion even with some citizens that was on the Zoom call with us, as far as recycling is concerned, we was like, okay, we can use that money for X, Y, and Z. So we also talked about some things as far as getting them involved in purchasing even some items in reference to COVID. So, and I think you had a question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, according to the county's grant fund, it has to be a non-budgeted item that would not be funded, so we
Right.
haven't reached that point. So with that wouldn't fall into that, so we wouldn't be able to put that under recycling because
Well-
we budgeted. Right?
Well, it was some non-budgeted items that we were discussing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was non-budgeted. We would say, hey, we can use that money for this. And,
What were those items?
I just said I couldn't remember.
Oh.
But everybody was on the call, everyone. All the counselors, the mayor, everybody was on the call. So, and that's just one thing, and also the administrative part. So we don't need anything as far as in administration is concerned.
No, so
Just for our employees.
No, I'm not saying that. What we have between the time you guys have gotten this and today, the cardiac monitors most likely will not be approved for reimbursement. So I actually talked with Mr. Stewart and Felicia today from administration, and we'll probably have to come back to realize that amount. But I'm working with Felicia to get some things and get the numbers for that to bring back. So it'd probably just be an amendment of that amount and then bring back to get what we need in administration.
You know, I think you said since we're gonna be here and right now we're separated, you know, I think it will be important if we do have some partitions here, but I do see some additional things and like I said, I'm still thinking about that recycling piece, and I know it's not in here, but you know, we may have to come back and do some amendments to this.
That's fine.
I wish we could have kind of sat down and discussed some of these things. You know, you run your department, chief run his, you run the police department. I'm not saying anything about that, but as far as some things that need to be added, just so we don't run over that amount, the 560 or the 570,000. I wish we could look at it and then see what else we need to put in here before coming back and amending it. So that's just my take. Thank you, I'm finished.
All right. And Chief, would you like to address the last item?
Yes, sir. The next item is the permit fees. So pretty much what this is for is to amend fees on fire sprinkler systems, and within that creating, pretty much, we're already issuing permits for this type of work. It's just not, I would say, the correct verbiage for that particular permit. Fire alarm systems are permitted under low voltage permits. We want to have a fire alarm system permit. And the sprinkler system, what's been being charged was $5 a sprinkler head for the permit, which is outrageously high. We looked around at what other cities were doing and tried to get something that was reasonable, that wasn't such a great cost to the person doing the work. The actual, from the way we interpreted it, the $5 that was being charged was actually supposed to be aimed at more of an irrigation sprinkler head than a fire sprinkler head. So looking around, we come to the fee for that being $100 for the first floor and $50 per additional floor. That's the way that Mountain Brook does it. Some of the other ones have a little bit lower charge, and they charge per sprinkler head, $1 that way. And so we have things that, that are about to build, that need to, I think that would benefit from not having such a high charge, because looking around, I don't know anywhere that charged by the sprinkler head that charged more than $1. And that was even down to, I looked at Montgomery, and I looked at different sized cities, but we just want to get that changed and make it fair and reasonable, and then have the other permits to where they're actually fire systems, so that they have the right permit, and we're asking the right things on the permit process. So it's not to bring up to raise permit fees and to charge people more, it's actually to bring fees down and to make it more reasonable, for what we feel like everyone else is doing.
I think that cleared it up, because I think you're talking about commercial and residential?
So I mean, the only time we really deal with anything that's residential, that's fire alarm or sprinkler related, would be apartment complexes, and that's more of being a business there. But so not really not in residential, like you buy your house, we don't really permit those. So it's more of permitting for either a new construction or a remodel on a commercial business or with a apartment style residential complex.
Thank you.
Any questions, Linda? I don't have any questions for him, but I have a question for you and the city clerk. Question the ordinance numbering 2020-15. Back on August the 4th, we had a ordinance on the agenda about Dab School, and it was assigned 2020-15. Should not this one be 2020-16?
I wasn't here when that was done, so I didn't even know that was I didn't know that ordinance was done while I was in my absence.
I think Mr.
No harm in making it 16.
So we've already got 2015 on a different agenda.
I would suggest you amend it to 16.
So that would be a change. We can change this to ordinance 2020-16 instead of 15. Okay. With that being said, we try to approve the agenda with item number 1 on consent, please. And the other two, number 2 with that modification. I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The agenda is set. Do we have any comments from the audience tonight on agenda items only? Mr. Dunlap? For the record, please do identify yourself and your address, please. Thank you.
Donald Dunlap, 1335 Monterey Road,
Thank you, sir.
Irondale. We have heard many things over the years since I've been living here, and in the recent months, I have gotten positive comments from the residents in my neighborhood. And an incident occurred here in the
Sir,
last...
is this related to the agenda tonight? Is this related to an agenda item?
No, it is
Okay,
not.
then you need to wait till the end of the meeting, sir. We'll
Oh,
have-
I'm sorry.
No problem.
My
Thank you.
apologies.
Appreciate it, Mr. Dunlap. Thank you so much. With that, still open for agenda item comments only. All right. If not, can we move on into the agenda? And again, we did number 1 on consent, so we'd be moving to item number 2.
Make a motion that resolution 2020 R45 be approved.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion carries. Item number 3.
I'll make a motion that ordinance 2020-16 be considered read.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
I make a motion that all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2020-16 be suspended, and that unanimous consent be given for the immediate consideration of said ordinance.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Councilor Beard. Councilor London?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Beard?
Yes.
Councilor Wilson?
Yes.
Councilor Spivey?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Finally, I make a motion that ordinance number 2020-16 be finally passed and adopted as introduced.
Do I have a second Councilor Bearden? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion carries. All right. With that being said, now we open for general public comments. So now's your chance.
I apologize for improper start there. Basically, this is a compliment from my neighborhood that I want to pass to this council. And we had an incident here in the last couple of days, very minor incident. A truck ran over a storm drain and busted it. Now, it left that storm drain in danger of a child in that neighborhood could fall into it. I called Public Works, I called the police department, asked them to send an officer around. He checked it and obviously referred it back to the proper department. And it was immediately fixed that next day. And then we found a issue at my neighbor's house where there apparently looked like water was coming up out of the ground in a large amount. Well, once again, I called the waterworks yesterday afternoon, and today they came out there, and sure enough, there was a leak at the meter on the customer side of this, at this point. Once again, they fixed it. And the people in the neighborhood have been very complimentary on the infrequent patrols of the police through the area. They feel safe. And this, to me, in this day and time, is very important and makes Irondale look good. So, from all of us to y'all, thank you.
Appreciate this comment. Any additional comments tonight? Any more business to come before this council before we adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Robert? Yes, how are you guys doing? Good couple of weeks. Yeah.